પેલામાં જો વશિષ્ઠ અચ્છા okay, so they have joined, na? Participants are joining. All right,
joining.
great.
Good.
Okay, so sir, Dr. Vashish Patel will introduce you and then you can start with your session.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
thank you, sir.
Shall we wait for 2-3 more minutes?
Yes.
Why not? You can.
Dear all, we will be circulating you an attendance sheet, so please do not forget to enter your name in the attendance sheet. We will need it for our records and certifications. Yes, we can start, Vashish. They will join.
Okay, so welcome to the second session. Good afternoon to all of you. Today we are having one more personality named Dr. Naveen K. Mehta. Sir is presently working as Associate Professor, Department of English, School of Language, Literature and Arts, Sanchi University of Buddhist Indic Studies. He is former Dean and Head Department of English, Sanchi University. He has more than 15 years of experience in research, academic and teaching. He has qualified both UGC, NET and STAT. He is having a triple post-graduation in English literature, education and business management, and awarded double PhDs in the area of Indian writing in English literature and management. Sir has been honored by the Prime Minister of India and Minister of Human Resource Development of India on account of his meritorious and outstanding academic career. He has also been awarded or got the achievement certificate from the different universities, foreign universities like Harvard and Oxford universities. So now I welcome to the FDP, sir. Now over to you. You can start the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Dr. Vashiji. At the outset, at the beginning of this particular talk, let me extend my heartiest congratulations and best wishes to the organizing committee, the principal of your Government Engineering College, Gandhinagar, Dr. S.P. Dave Madam, the head of General Department, Government Engineering College, Gandhinagar, S.R. Shardaji, and my very own, just like my younger brother, Tarun Bhai Patel ji, Dr. Tarun Patel ji, who is the, instrumental in organizing, both of them, means Vashish ji and Tarun ji, in organizing this very relevant, I think, FDP And I think it is the need of the hour to have such a very relevant FDP. The title itself justifies the need of the hour. Facing 21st century education, challenges, skills, and innovations. I think these three words that they have added after the colon, it signifies everything. That means when you are talking about 21st century education as such, because we are living in a different world, it's whatever you like to call, it is a world which is somewhat terrified, horrified by that COVID-19, or you can call it new normal. Whatever it may be, even the government of India already launched its well-awaited new education policy. The scenario is completely changed. In this changing scenario, 21st century education, it requires changes. Therefore, whenever you go for any change, challenges ought to be there, must be there. And how to overcome those challenges? Again, two words. I'm really thankful to the organizing committee, Tarun Bhai Vashishji, that they have chosen, I think, these words very carefully after lots of hard work and research. Skills and innovation. Skills, even Government of India under the able leadership of Modi ji is talking about skillship, skillmanship, or skills, skill India. And the innovation, I think this is the last but not the least to achieve the objectives of 21st century. Avashakta avishkar ki janni hai. Necessity is the mother of invention. Whenever you talk about any need or any requirement that we require in these present circumstances, so in the present situation, you need to be innovative. But at what cost? In what way and how? That we have to, think about. I am not here to teach you anything. I'm just like you, a learner. So I would like to share my views on these issues. And again, let me extend my thanks to the organizing committee for giving me a very wonderful topic to deliver my talk, to share my thoughts, ideas, knowledge, whatever experience I gained so far. Bringing newness in present day classrooms. Well, again, I think here certain vocabulary items have to be taken care or taken into consideration. You have to bring something, and that too with some newness should be there. Means if it is going to be brought in, then it should be along with some innovation. And where we are working, where we are contributing, my extended family members. You people are what? You are my members of extended family. So what we have to bring in our classrooms, newness. But before the beginning of my talk, I'm not giving you any warning or anything like under the head of threat, but bringing newness for the sake of newness may not be fruitful. So we have to be very careful. We have to plan a lot. We need to understand the importance of technology. So what I have tried to cover these issues, and I hope these issues will be part of my agenda. And first, let me talk about technology as such, that can be called something new, something innovative, something unique, something that has to be followed. And then, like Rudyard Kipling, Rudyard Kipling, I think he was very much right when he stated, I always keep with me my 5 masters and one more master is there. And what they do with me, they always guide me, they always help me to move ahead. So here, when we want to bring newness into our classroom in a present day, class, we need to work upon 5W and 1H. And if you are using technology or applying technology in your day-to-day classroom activities, you have to be at times careful about do's and don'ts. And ultimately, we will move to the culmination part of this particular talk. Am I audible, Vashiji, or are there any issues?
No, sir, you are audible.
Okay, shall I go ahead with your due permission of you and Tarunji?
Definitely, sir, definitely.
Okay, so my dear participants, if you have joined just now, what I am trying to cover up, this is the first, I think, very important, slide in the context of understanding today's, this particular deliberation. Well, why do we require newness? We are teachers, we are trainers, we are academicians, we are research scholars, we are learners, and we need to, to get self-motivated. How to get that self-motivation? Until unless you don't explore the world of research, world of, teaching, world of academics. So there are certain tools, methodologies, which are available. And you have to look at them and how you can, as you have stated very clearly, challenges. How do you address those challenges so that problems can be resolved? And then even you have your students there, learners are there, and you want to develop them, because it is well said, Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavavahi Tejasvina Tamastu Ma Vidishavi. What is the main aim of any education? It's progress, the development of both the disciple and chela. It is I think, the Indian way of working on education, which is quite holistic in nature. That you need to focus on both teacher as such and students as well. So you want to develop creativity and their other skills. Then if you bring newness, innovation, you will be able to refine, sharpen your teaching skills. And since students have to be, in the 21st century, we may be from 20th century, or we may be from not that particular generation, but still, what they have to do, they have to face the stiff competition at both the fronts, personal as well as professional. So we need to provide them a kind of perspective, a kind of technology, a kind of skill or skill sets or skills, that so that they can be able to develop themselves, they can be excel in their respective fields. So when you talk about Vashiji, I think somebody is there at the backdrop or making some noise. Please ask that person. Okay. Okay, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's part and parcel of technology when you use technology, because we are also very new to this technology. Almost 6 or 7 months ago, we are not aware. We are not using it. Let it be. So what I like to communicate, when you talk about the traditional way of teaching or traditional classroom or modern classroom, comparison, it appears, it strikes to your mind instantly, immediately. And when you talk about the traditional classroom, it's a more teacher dominated, role of teacher. Even yesterday I was discussing somewhere and I came across with the word Upanishad. As also some of you may be knowing about it. What is the Indian way of, Gurukul, where you have the Upanishad parampara also, where teacher, they sit, student, they sit just near to their teacher. Well, I don't know. what type of methodology that was. But still, the role of teacher is quite big in that. It was not somewhat student centered. Therefore, you have Eklavya and all those things. It appeared later on. And then you have got the unchangeable rules, very rigid in rules. And those rules are not set by any other except teachers. They have to maneuver their class or classes. And what you have there? They are marginalized. Who? Students. And teacher is the sole authority. Then student, they feel alienation, loneliness, desert. They find themselves deserted, isolated at times. And it is kind of an autocratic environment or atmosphere of learning. They are very much passive students. If you do something wrong, you will be condemned. You will be, judged on account of your mischief or your act, and then ultimately you will be punished. So all the aims and objectives in that particular classroom were decided by, teachers or the administrators of running those classes. But when you enter 21st century classroom as such, or present day classroom as such, you will find an ambience which is quite perfect, conducive for learning. It's student centered, rules are flexible, and that I told you that it's coexistence of both teacher and student. They construct the rules, regulations to bring newness, even to make the learning process interesting, innovative, interactive. And therefore, the voice of students cannot be suppressed, cannot be kept in margin. They are not vociferous, but we can understand, we can sense. We have to be empathetic rather than to be sympathetic. So no central authority. It promotes development, democratic atmosphere there, and students, but obvious, they are more active and a greater level of understanding, and they can ask questions, they can quench their thirst for knowledge. These things are happening even in our classrooms. So this is the big change that we can observe in the teaching of today, or in the classroom of today and of yesterday. So let us have a look at the comparative study of traditional role of teacher and role of a modern teacher like Tarun Bhai and Vashiji, and even me. I'm getting old, but so traditional way of teaching is that what they do, sit and get. This is the only uthak baithak, and they are the receptor. Well, teachers tell, students have to listen. It's a product oriented, paper pencil, explicit directions, complaints, answers are primary, closed system, known facts, knows facts, and wait for the result. If you get the result, the process is over. But now, when you are in the 21st century teaching, it's not like that. The teacher is more experiment oriented. He has become initiator. And then the student, they have to construct the meaning. They have to be given the freedom of, raising their, doubts, questions, and they have their own likings and dislikings that we have to respect. And technology has, played a very important role, a very vital role. It's a more problem solver kind of role a teacher has to play. Questions are very primary. It's open-ended system of learning, and it changes constantly. And teacher's role has become like an inquirer. So immediate gratification that a teacher can secure for himself or herself. Shall I move ahead? Ashitji.
Yes, sir.
So let us start our discussion on this particular 5W and 1H. What you want to do with newness or the new technology? Well, we can help our students to think something which is the, again, need of the hour, out of the box. Not like the traditional stereotyped way of thinking or orthodox way of thinking or learning. Even you can prepare your students to face the challenges of whatever competition they have to face in future. And even we can use these technologies to engage our students more, active manner rather than earlier it was very passive. We can use multimedia approach. Then we need to integrate so that we can develop our students as a global citizen with a kind of, literacy, which is quite, I think relevant, which is required at the end of the day also, digital literacies. So they can be able to develop, their digital literacies. I think this is very much interesting to understand what does it mean, and then I think our work will be very, very easy. So when you talk about the contemporary education, when you want to see the growth and development of your students, you want to develop a kind of, confidence, trust, self-confidence. So these are the, I think, basic 3 skills: learning skills, literacy skills, life skills. In the morning session, Ami Ben and also Natarajan ma'am, they were talking about this, that 21st century skills are very, very important, necessary for our learners. So what are these skills? Let us go one by one. When you talk about the first skill, which is known as learning skill, it has got 4 skills in it. Creativity, that is the making new connection and coming up with something, we can call it innovative solution to the problem. And it helps the learners to analyze information. Because what we want to, develop, we want to make them, aware about the objects, about the information. And whatever information is there, I think in this present world, may not be authentic, may not be genuine. So they can apply their logic. They can apply their analytical skills. And then the most important part, communication, is also one of the, I think, part of the learning skills. So that a clarity in thoughts and ideas can be cultivated, can be developed. Though I think Vashishji and Tarun Bhai, both of them, they are expert of communication skills. 6 C's are there, 7 C's are there: clarity, consideration, completeness, correctness, and even consideration. So I think when you want to develop 6 C's or 7 C's of communication, you have to rely upon learning skills, learning environment that has to be taken care of. And the collaboration. Therefore, 21st century skills, 4 words are there: creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. Because it's a teamwork. It's a teamwork and collective genius of a group, which is, I think, quite helpful in learning, absorbing the essence of technology. Ekla chalore may be good, but in learning technology, you have to be not part of a herd or a crowd, but still you have to be part of a team, a wonderful team, and you have to contribute your role as a very active and very honest, transparent team member. Let us move ahead. Then you have got the literacy skill. And in literacy skills, you have, information literacy, where you can identify, locate, evaluate, and effectively use the information that I was talking about also. Media literacy is also very important. So critical understanding of various medias you can be able to, comprehend. Technology literacy is also there, that when you want to communicate to your counterparts, your friends, your colleagues, your teachers, your whatever relatives. So that technology can be very helpful in that context. Global literacy, that when you have to communicate to a number of people across the globe, that type of technology you can use, that type of communication mode you can use. So you could be you could be able to share your ideas, exchange your views to the people, those who are across the border. Then computer literacy, and you have to be not master, but at least you should be perfect in knowing certain things. Not all the portions of any software, but at least whatever you require, you should be able to handle all those. And then the new media literacy, I think it is also very important. Electronic form of asynchronous and synchronous. I think during these 5 days FDP, that will be from today to 18th December, you will be able to understand all these things there in much detail. Because synchronous and asynchronous communication, some of you may be aware about it, but we will be also discussing to certain extent. Then when you talk about the life skills, because life skills are very important. Ultimately, whatever you are, you have to be among people, you have to be among others, and where if you are not good at them, then you have to, then there may be problem with you to lose your identity or lose your importance in the society. So life skills, they are maybe 4. Flexibility should be there, and being students, you have to teach them, you have to share with them how to analyze quickly, so that they can adjust also in that changing environment, and they can make up their mind. Then students, they have to take initiatives, so they can set their goals, and accordingly they can move further, and they can prepare and plan out their strategies. Social skills is also very important, because man is a social animal. We need society to interact, so that they can collaborate with the other members of the society. Social skills are very necessary. And if they are able to develop flexibility or initiatives they have taken, and social skills are already there, then they need to be productive. So by using inquiry process, developing projects, student they can learn. This is the habit of productivity. They have to produce certain things. And then the leadership, because when you are working in the team, you could be the member, you could be the head of the team, you could be the leader of the team. So you can, with the help of rest of the skills, you can not pose, but you can emerge as a leader, and you will be a democratic leader, not as an autocratic leader. So let us go ahead. Why we need all this? What is over? Why do we require technology as such, newness as such, innovation as such in present day classrooms? Because why? Students, they have to be motivated when they will use digital tools. Like at our home, you can see, like today, in today's context, our kids, our children, they are using technology. And who are promoting them? Who are, encouraging them? We and their teachers. Role of, parents, role of society, role of teachers. I think it's very important to encourage them how to use judiciously the technical or technological tools. Because we have to discuss this particular aspect at different levels. at the level of teenager, at the level of, grown up, and at the level of young people, young students. Using tools, they can be able to, develop their digital literacies. And this product or any, digital product, whatever, like Zoom is also, if you shared with other classes or schools with the parents, you need to understand what will be the feedback, what will be the outcome of that particular product among the users. And such as, I don't like to take very, costly or the tool which is very popular, any simple tool. For example, you can take mobile device. You use mobile in your classroom. Nobody will stop you. It was earlier that students were not allowed to take mobile or smartphones in their classrooms, even in their schools or colleges. But now they are allowed. Only this is the way through which they can learn, through which we are sharing our information. Many of you among the participants, maybe on telephone or maybe on mobile or smartphone, and they are, they are being benefited by this particular FDP. So mobile can be used, that can bridge the gap between the classroom and outside world. And very important thing that it helps them to become more responsible as a citizen, as an individual learner, and that will be very helpful for their individual growth. And they can able to collaborate with others. And if you teach your learners with a conviction, with a determination and commitment, you will be able to produce such more teachers out of your learners. So therefore, we need to use technology, and technology has to be, it has to be brought in. Then where and when? It may be in the classroom. Like mobile, you can use outside of the classroom, that we will discuss. Flip classroom or face-to-face in the classroom. Or it may be, mixing of the both. It's a blending way of learning, and which is quite popular in these days. And when we have to use technology, when we have the resources, this is the problem. In private sector, they have ample fund. They do not have any, that particular process of getting and inviting tenders and all these things. So they can use whatever new in the market instantly or immediately. But in the government institutions or granting aid institutions, it may take time. So whatever resources are available, start using them. Facebook is there, Twitter is there, many, many, many. If I name one, you can give me many names that I know. Then training and time. How much training is required? How much time it requires to settle down, to apply this technology or that technology in your classroom? And then what will be the impact of that technology on developing a better understanding? And what are the circumstances in which you have to use that particular technology? All these things have to be taken care under the head 5W. And who and whom? For both teachers and learners. For teachers, their work is somewhat simplified. You see, my dear, participants, you are just like me. You are also teacher, and you now you can. I think you are in comfort zone. Earlier, when we were using technology, we were somewhat perplexed. We were quite anxious. We were just like Hamlet, to be or not to be. But now we are used to with this. So because it's very simple to use. And even it helps your learners to become more active, and even evaluation, assessment can be done. A great level of flexibility is there. As per your convenience, you can interact with your learners. Planning can be done, a variety of material can be stored, and you can have fast feedback. And for learners also, it's very useful. Digital literacy they can develop, better learning they can get, and newness is there in this. It's not a stereotype of teaching, and interest can be generated among your learners. So both teachers and learners, they can be benefited by this particular newness or new technology. But how we have to implement? This is the very challenging part of technology. Certain ways are there, and since some of you may be from engineering colleges or from the professional colleges, you may be an expert rather than me. You can use many tools, and you may be, or you are using, or you have been using gamified learning. You can arrange digital field trips, 3D, integrate social media that I was talking about, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And even we can collect students' feedback in no time. And most important thing, you can create your own content, which is very simple. You can make it as attractive as possible, as effective as you want to. And then you can have a common calendar. Don't require any static academic calendar that you have to stick with that. Then you can incorporate video and multimedia in your lessons and presentations. And ultimately, you have LMS, that is the learning management system, where you can have kind of, management of your learning like as a manager, successful manager. Sa vidya ya vimukte. What is the aim of vidya? To make you free from all the, problems, from all the, slavery. Sa vidya ya vimukte. So if you have this learning management system, you may be able to achieve that Sanatan Vakya, that is the Dheya Vakya of our Shiksha. So with this, let me go ahead. This is the way that technology, to be very honest, that I told you at the very beginning of my talk. If you think that technology will bring something and it will improve everything, no, you may be wrong. You may be wrong-headed, or you are moving to the wrong direction. Technology is like money. Money is, it is something, but it is not everything. Technology is something, but it is not everything. The technology has to be integrated, and there should be beginning, middle, and end of your using technology. Integration, I think it's a progressive process. Integration has to be done very cleverly, very smartly, and very practically. Practicability must be there in integration of technology. Therefore, initially I talked about asynchronous and synchronous learning mode or method. You may be aware about it. Asynchronous means where we allow our students to access whatever content or material or questions, whatever is there, at any time. You put them on YouTube, you put them on your folder or your Google Drive, and then from there they can access, or cloud also. And from there they can work, they can keep on learning from there, or synchronous, that you have fixed a particular schedule daily, like in FDP. But after FDP will be over, I hope Tarun Bhai and Vashit ji, they are very active. They will put all these lectures on YouTube. I hope they will do. Am I right, Vashit ji?
Yes, we are doing.
So they are doing. See, this is the way you can collaborate technology into your day-to-day learning process. Really, they are doing a good job. So synchronous learning, it requires, attendance and scheduled meetings. So you have already scheduled, you have already, marked attendance that on these particular days, we are going to take lecture, we are going to interact, and they will be there and your work will be over. Like you are doing, and even I am doing with my learners. But sometimes I do, when I don't have, time, I, put my lecture on that particular website of university. From there, they can take material. Okay, let me go ahead without any further delay. So when you need to integrate, you have to apply a model. And that model is already there. I have not taken something, I have not done something new. I have taken it from, UEN Structure.com, and it is from their courses, SAMR, substitution. Technology is a tool that substitutes. Like earlier, we are using word processor. Now, word process, lab report, printout, handouts, you have everything out of it. Then augmentation. That means you have to extend. So you can extend. How? Now, spell check, cut and paste, all these things can be done along with the printout and all those old things. Modifications. So with the integration of technology, we can bring modification in our learning process. We can redesign our lesson plans. How? We can add some more graphs. Some pictures may be there, images may be there, spreadsheets may be there, email may be there. And then redefinition. It's a redefine. So we here becomes more creative and critical. Like we add movies, some links, which are hot favorites, softwares, apps that we are doing. It's a redefinition of learning. So we started from substitution and then we reached up to redefinition. And in this way, we will be able to integrate even Skype that you can use so that we can compare and combine the results with the experts. Let us move ahead. So when you talk about using technology and using it with integration, you have to rely upon a system. A system must be there, and it's already there. Learning Management System, LMS. It's, I think, variety of tools are there for you so that you can, track, you can monitor your students' progress. You can encourage them to take part in the activities, classroom, inside classroom, outside of classroom, and a virtual environment, VLE, can be developed. And then you can have, be able to deliver your content. You can manage your classes. You can record their grades through gradebooks maybe. And assignments online can be given. Online poll can be done. Surveys can be done. Surveymonkey.com is there. Users can normally see people's answer, survey or similar poll, but they have multiple questions that I think very well. So such web tools may be very useful for collaboration, for generating, for developing critical skills or developing their creativity. Variety of LMS is there. So let us see what are they and how they can be used. So I think they are the part of blended learning. Where F2F, that is face-to-face learning, that we do in our pre-COVID classrooms. And we were very happy and content with that because we don't like to, burn midnight oil with our candle of knowledge. But now this COVID situation has forced us, has provoked us, prompted us, encouraged, motivated, whatever you like to call, to use this blended form of learning. And I hope in new normal, as Tarun Bhai was discussing with me, how we will be able to communicate, how we will be able to interact with our learners. So with blended form of learning, where face-to-face and online learning will be there, and then you will be able to reach to your learners. This is the way blended learning can be done. And a comparison it can be seen over here that it's traditional is more personalized, class-based, and personal learning community. Tutorials are there. We have the tutorials in our classrooms, and seminars may be there. But now you have the flexible, timely virtual instructions are there, forums like through WhatsApp group and other groups, Instagram, and all these things are there. And Facebook is also a very important part. It can play a very important part in creating forums even blogs are also, they are also revived. They are revival. It's a, I think, renaissance of, technology and learning. Webinars and communities are being developed in this blended form of learning. So when you talk about the blended learning, what you have in store, you have face-to-face driver, where the curriculum can be done with the face-to-face teaching rotation. Within the course, you have the, flexibility to rotate from a fixed schedule to a self-paced online learning. Like we have Coursera, you have Future Learn, so many platforms are there. Self-paced learning along with rotation. So classroom, along with some rotation can be done. Flex, that on-site teacher can provide support. In-person tutorial can be done. Small group discussion can be done. Online labs can be, developed. Self-blended also can also be applied. And online driver can be there to help you out to complete your the targets of curriculum or syllabi. Then you have this particular concept of flipped classroom in blended learning. I think we have to focus on this. That in traditional, you have what? You go to your classroom, give some work to your students, and ask them to complete their homework. It's your job, and your job is over. But I think this technology has given us wonderful opportunities to experiment with our teaching, or pedagogy, or with our methodologies of teaching. Do one thing: pass some instructions to your students, ask them to go through some videos which are all readily available on YouTube, and then ask them to have complete, look at or look or to or rather have complete visit of all those videos that you have prescribed, that you have decided that they should go through from the given topic or from the selected topic. And once they will come in your classroom, you have to discuss with them. So it's other way around. In traditional, they have to do everything in the class. Here, everything is already decided, and they have to come along with some preparation, and the discussion can be made, feedback can be obtained. Learning is more interactive, learning is more interesting, and it's more fruitful in a new environment, in a new classroom that has got some newness in learning. And then in flipped classroom, what you do, that I already explained, that students, they are introduced to content at home and practice it at their home, and then they practice what at the school finally. And this is the reverse of more what we have in the traditional form of learning. So strategies are there that you need to create quality pre-recorded lecture that you have. But what I suggested, even some lectures are already available on YouTube, and if they are really good, authentic, you can suggest them. Active, it's a development of a more vibrant classroom. It indicates to develop a kind of classroom which is full of energy and enthusiasm. So it promotes active learning, and teacher's role become a role of facilitator. He facilitates that whatever is available, I can be able to assist you, I can be able to guide you. So this is the, I think, integration of technology, second part that I want to take from this particular project-based learning. So when you interact, flipped classroom is already there. What you can do else? Provide some projects. So these projects may be online projects, or they can be given to the students. You should have planning part in with you, explain all those things to your students, and once you will explain, pass certain instructions to your students and hand over those projects to them. And if they find any difficulty, ask them to contact you at any point of time through phone, through mail, or whatever technology you want to adopt. So it's a departure from traditional classroom learning. It's a projects are just like real world challenges, based on real world challenges. Like a project can be done, a project can be given on the like, for example, I will give you one example. The waiting for vaccine in case of fighting COVID-19. You have to come along with the uh, the 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 deadly virus, information about the deadly virus, its impact on the part of the world where you are living, and what are the precautions you are having, and then ultimately what are the remedies which are available, and future inventions which are taking place. So in that way, they can prepare a complete project on it, and then they can come along with that project in the classroom or through online. A discussion can be made upon. So it requires institutions. I'm really now, it's an area of concern that institutions have to invest resources, like they have to spend money in redesigning their curriculum, and they have to incorporate it such a real life challenges before in their curriculum, so that the learners, they can be made aware that these changes are affecting their part of the world. Successful project-based learning, I think it will be very helpful if you would like to develop them as a major part of your major projects. And then even student center approach can be developed through this project-based learning, because a student, he is the everything over here. He knows what to do. He knows how to, you have to guide, but role of a teacher should be like a role of a guide or facilitator. But a student has to do everything on his own. And this is the beauty of project-based learning. Then you have got the gamification concept. And in gamification, you have to set your goal. Learning will be there. Skills can be developed. Students feel a kind of self-gratification if they achieve something. Challenges are definitely very, very much over there. And rewards in form of badges or competition is quite healthy, and they do not find themselves, anybody will not find themselves a loser, and it's a kind of engagement. So user will be engaged, and you can use gamification in this way. It's something that you can bring in your lesson plan. It is not something that you are replacing your lesson with game. Rather, you are adding something to it. You can have certain examples like,
Sir, your voice, you are mute. Sir, unmute yourself. Sir, unmute yourself.
I'm doing it. So
All right.
now
Yeah.
now it's audible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Up to that I was audible.
Last 1 minute.
Okay, I will be doing that. I will be doing that again. No issues, no issues. Let me make it big, and then I will be. Uh, so what I was discussing about it, and then something happened over there. So now you can have this again. You can see slides.
No, you need to share it again.
Okay, I will be sharing it again. Some technical issues are there.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, that we will resolve. No problem. Share screen. Okay. Okay. Host disabled participant sharing screen sharing. Somebody has done something.
No, don't worry. Vashisht, right click on sir's name and make him co-host.
Yes, sir. Making him.
Nobody has done anything. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So what I was talking about, I was talking before that in flipped classroom you have that particular. Okay. Sorry for this interruption. Let me go ahead again. Okay. So my slides are visible to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I was talking about, a blended learning. I completed, I think, and after blended learning, I even talked about blended learning models, and then I was talking about the flipped classrooms. So I think here up to that, my voice was audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I was talking about this PBL, that project-based learning. So what is the project? What do you mean by projects? First thing that comes to your mind, that strikes to your mind, the project is something which needs a kind of planning that you have to do, before giving any project to your students. So if students are there and they want to have any work upon any project, so a teacher should be very, active and agile. He has to be he has to play a role of a facilitator or as a guide, because project can be given on any topic. But say for example, if COVID-19 is there and we want to give a project on it, then a student may be going for outdoor survey, or it may be online survey, whatever may be. So you need to invest money on it. Sometimes institutions they allow, sometimes they don't. So that has to be taken care of, because project cost is very important. So in creating up any project, in making any project, this particular segment of cost, or the money that a project requires, has to be taken proper care. Otherwise what will happen, whatever projects you will bring in, and the administration of your institution may not approve it, and you will lose your heart. So rationality has to be taken care. You have to be very rational, you have to be very practical, you have to be pragmatic in making your project, so that student they should not also feel discouraged or disappointed that whatever projects we have been assigned and we have already submitted, or we are working on that, but the institution is not helping us out. So that has to be taken care, before the beginning of this particular type of learning. And I think this type of learning is very important. It helps the student to develop themselves as a research scholar, or as a researcher. And even you indirectly, what you do, you put a student at the center of learning, at the center of learning process. And this is the real intent of the technology, or bringing technology in your classroom. So if you provide them a chance, provide them an opportunity, so they can be able to come up with some unique ideas, something which is very creative, something which is very logical, analytical. So give them an opportunity to work upon any project. Project topic or project theme can be decided by both, by the teacher as well as by the students, or independently they can come along with their ideas, and a brainstorming session can be conducted, and then project can be granted, or can be given, or can be assigned. And the next which is very important part of this blended learning is the gamification. And almost all of you are from professional colleges or institutions. So when you talk about the gamification, or when you talk about this particular concept of learning, you need to set your goal. And learning is more enjoyable. It's something learned by fun, and skills can be developed here also. And these skills that we have already discussed, 21st century skills, and achievements can be rewarded, and challenges can be, like as part of your FDP title, challenges can be put before students, and if they will overcome, rewards are waiting for them in form of badges or any other thing. And the competition that you will develop, it's not so much envious. It's not that will create a kind of jealousy or hatred among them. It's a very healthy kind of competition, and ultimately you are able to engage your learners. So that I have already explained to you some of the examples of gamification, like earning virtual points. If you do some task, and you will have virtual points, and playing educational games to learn academic skills, or they are competing with their peers on leaderboard, or towards achieving their goal. Or even if you will apply this particular methodology, it will help them to to develop their self confidence. Motivation is there ultimately you are encouraging them to take part actively, you increase their attention or concentration, and even you are able to reduce stress, I think, which is very important. Because even you see children at your home, they are almost daily 4 to 5 hours they are spending before technology, before a small smartphone. So it may have certain health hazards, health issues, or they may be under a kind of syndrome. That syndrome may be Hanuman syndrome or Arjun syndrome. Arjun syndrome is what? That Arjun knows that I have to fight this battle before my relatives, before my brothers, but he was amok, he was somewhat stuck. And then Lord Krishna, he came there. He consulted him, advised him to come out that particular stress. Even the same case was with Hanumanji. He wanted to cross the ocean, but he was in dilemma how to cross. And then he was advised. So students, they also need your counsel. They need your advice so that they can cross this particular ocean of stress. And even few rewards, if you will offer them, like field trip, you can offer them picture or chapter book that you can do them, and we will give you an opportunity to show your talent. So talent show can be organized, and handwritten card, if teacher will provide, that will give them a kind of a sense of belongingness, closeness in class. Ask them to sit quiet. That will bring a kind of tranquility, that will help them to develop a kind of inner peace, so that they can develop high level of concentration. Then we have very favorite topic, mobile learning. And almost all of you may be aware about that. M learning is very, very important in these present circumstances. It improves learning a lot in real context, as well as even it transforms the process of learning from it makes learning more appealing, motivating, and interesting. And proper guidance, they can access online learning resources through their cell phone. Like some of you may be using your cell phone here to have this FDP, or you are attending your FDP through mobile phone. So it's a very, it's a blessing in disguise. The student, they can, they will be provided educate information. They can store materials. Even my daughter, she's hardly 10 years old, 11 years old, but she uses mobile phone for her classes. She can also, make PDF. She can make PowerPoint. She can do many things. So this is the beauty of it. Even a kid without any formal training apply it very easily, and that too without much cost. Because mobile phone, it starts from 7,000 to 8,000 in comparison to laptop, where you have to invest, not huge, but more money. Then you have got, then you have certain important information about mobile learning. That in mobile learning, you have 5 C's. Like content must be there, because content you can access, your students, they can access very easily. Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But slide shows again drops down. It's there or not?
It is there.
It's there.
5WNIS.
Yeah. Okay. So content is already there. And
Yes,
student,
yes.
they can access from anywhere, 24 into 7 into 365 days. Or even they can capture. Yeah, I can give my own example over here, that I wanted to teach them something related to nature. What I have done, what I have done, I ask students, go to your respective villages, take some pictures, or come along with a small clip or movie, and then once they will come down, or they came along with those clips, I started discussion with them. It can be done very easily. So using mobile, they can capture images, videos, sound, coordinate, and they can coordinate in your learning process, and they can come along with some unique ideas, which I think those ideas you require in your 21st classroom, so that interest can be sustained of both teacher as well as student. And even you can be able to communicate with them, and they can be also vice versa. They can be able to communicate to you. SMS is there, MMS is there, and now you have WhatsApp, and so many things are there. And even whatever you like to do, compute, it can be done. You can calculate, translate also, and other computational tasks you can do. So many things you can do. You can record and you can type. This can be done very easily in any language, irrespective of any language. And then they can combine also their learning experiences with various functions like GPS location or images, supply relevant content to the learner. Then you have got why you can use it, because portability is there, accessibility is very easy, ease of use, apps are multiple apps you can store. If you're that GB or whatever, I am not so sound in technical aspects of the mobile, but still, if your mobile has got a huge capacity to store many apps, you can store as many as you like to store. Then features are already built in, some of them, camera and even Gmail and all other inbuilt softwares are there. Personalization can be done. It can be logged also. Whatever you do, it may not be seen, may not be unfolded to others. You can hide your information for the benefit of your confidentiality. And then convenience is there, and there are tools that you can organize and you can use later on. And whatever information you like to have, you can have on your fingertips. So small, so smart, and faster way to communicate. And you can be in touch with as long as many as people possible. And there are various multimedia functions that you can use through mobile phone. So after M-learning, you have virtual whiteboard, and it's very common in these modern days classroom that teachers that teach through these whiteboards. Digital whiteboards are also there. Even you have the online version of whiteboards are also there, which you can download free of cost. And if digital whiteboards are there, they are maybe costly, but especially schools, they are using it. Even government schools, they are also using digital whiteboards where multiple activities can be done. Teachers, they can connect to the internet and digitize the content written on the online board. Then you have various facilities that can be availed through this white board. They can enhance your lesson planning. They can be very interactive, very easy, user friendly, and a great level of flexibility can be made upon, and you can connect to the internet through these whiteboards. And more on top of all, it's integration of technology, and they are very, very effective when it comes to create interest, or you have to explain certain things like graphs, charts, or diagrams. You can explain them very easily, especially science and mathematics or engineering drawings can be taught very easily through whiteboard or virtual boards. Then you have got other tools, a variety of tools that like CALL, CALL, computer assisted language learning. It can be done very easily. You can use computer that you are using, desktop or laptop. Podcasting is done. Podcasts are audio or video programs that can be subscribed online. iPods you can also use in your classroom or outside of your classroom, and they can be very fruitful if you want to develop listening skills of your learner, and they are very user friendly also. Facebook, I think it's a very, very common these days, where you can have various features like personal profile, status, updates. You can write certain things, you can share certain things, and you can improve their listening, speaking, reading, writing, whatever skill you like to improve, it can be done very easily. Especially language teachers, they can use Facebook in multiple ways. And then you can do one thing, write a poem and put on your Facebook page profile. Then you can see the comments, views, reviews, feedback, and then you can pass your remark, and discussion can be made. A critical analysis of the poem can be done that you cannot do in your face-to-face classroom. Hesitation may be there. A student may not be so active, but in this way, you can make them more active, because it's, on their, fingertips, they can access Facebook through their smartphone, and they are very, very prompt also. They are very active also in writing a different type of language, which is a technical language which people use during their chatting while dealing with Facebook, Twitter, or even WhatsApp. Then you have LinkedIn, again very important social and networking site that you can use in your classroom, where you can exchange messages, you can read response, others reply also. Instagram also, that you can connect yourself with the native speakers and other learners, and you can upload your video content and can be approached to your learners, or learners can approach to you without any problems. WhatsApp, that I already told you, it has become a very important part of learning process. So discussion forum can be developed, groups can be developed, plethora of opportunities can be taken care, can be obtained through this particular mode of learning. Twitter is also very important because it helps you to write precise paragraph writing, 140 characters or less, to be very precise. It's, you have to hit bullseye. Brevity is the soul of language learning. So if you are learning language, you have to say something in minimum words with maximum impact. You have to rely upon Twitter. And then there are many Twitter sites like English 24 into 7, Cambridge Words. They can improve your learners' communication. Even internet pages also there, like wiki website, and then blog, maybe their web blog, or blog is there, video blog, that which are available on YouTube. You can express your feelings, your ideas, your whatever unique you like to share with your learners. Your learners, they should be given opportunity to post, upload their videos, and then we can pass our remarks. It may not be meant for public, but still a group can be developed where all these activities can be taken care of. Then I have already discussed about it. YouTube is already there. They can upload. Yesterday, what happened, I requested one of my students that you are a good singer. Why don't you sing some of the poems written by Methli Charan Gupta? And she started. And yesterday, she uploaded two very, very good videos based on those poems that I recommended to her. So this is the way you can generate interest among your learners. What they can do with that? They can share that particular video with their peers, with their friends, with their family members, and they may not be so viral, but still they can have that pride. They can have that sense of achievement, that we have achieved something, that we created something, and people are now watching with great interest. So this can be done very easily. Flickr also, it's very important for developing imagination, visualization, and explanation. And even they can, a student, they can take photographs clicked by them, and they can find their friends in the photograph, leave a comment for them, or can find groups or subjects of their areas of interest. Skype is also there, Tarun Bhai, through which they can, you can, you being students, they can also, you can also as a teacher generate application so that voice calls can be made, and through that you can improve your pronunciation, your speaking abilities can be developed, your communication can be strengthened. And let us go ahead, some more integrated technology tools are there. Quick link is there, and it enables a student to store um, printed text and internet links. Then you have quick dictionary, quickdictionary.com, or like we have a pen where that can help you to scan the word and understand definition and provide translation on LCD screen. Quictionary, like dictionary, and digital libraries are there. So through those libraries, you can access a number of books which are freely available, and you can improve your knowledge bank. You can enrich your knowledge domain. And therefore, when you have all these, you need to assess your